Hazard. Now the name sounds a little intimidating. Okay, the Moral Hazard is a twisted old fashioned. Now a classic old fashioned is a bourbon-based cocktail with the addition of Angostura bitters and sugar syrup, or some people use the sugar cube. Back then in the 1800s, the old fashioned was created in America in a gentleman's club called the Pendennis Club. Alright, and the old fashioned is a drink which people categorize as a gentleman's drink. So from a gentleman's club, gentleman's drink. Okay, back then before ladies were allowed in the gentleman's club, this drink was the primary drink because one, bourbon is the sole spirit available in America back then. Okay, it used to be called corn spirit or corn-based alcohol, and after that when Father Elijah Craig found out about how he can actually infuse it and age it in oak barrels, and that's where bourbon actually took place. So a classic bourbon would be something which is made from the state of Kentucky, alright, and has to consist of 51% corn up to a maximum of 85%, of which there are also other petty fuel products like red wheat, rye and barley. Okay, so an old fashioned is a drink where bitters and sugar helps to bring out the flavors of a bourbon together with dilution. The technique of making an old fashioned is the stirring technique, of which a beaker or a stirring glass is filled with ice, and we stir it down with water, bitters and sugar. The water comes from the dilution of the ice, alright, and of course, most importantly, the base spirit. It can be any bourbon, but we need to know what the flavor profile is like of the bourbon. So in the Moral Hazard, which is a twisted old fashioned, we're using a 15-year-old bourbon called Johnny Drum, alright, which is a small batch bourbon. At any one time, there's about only 800 bottles available from every batch from the distillery. Okay, and how we enhance the flavors, we use sweeteners. Instead of regular sugar, we use apricots and we use Manuka honey, because these are the distinct flavors of the bourbon. And to enhance and to give you that wow experience, what we do is we use these sweeteners to bring out the utmost flavors of the bourbon. You go to any other bar and you have any normal classic old fashioned, what you get is just the spirit straight hard up with a little bit of bitters, a little bit of dilution, a little bit of sweetener. And that's just classics. But what we twist it with is by adding the honey and the apricots and additional sweeteners which help to substantiate the flavors. Okay. On top of that, the garnishes that go along with all cocktails here, alright, will coincide with the flavor profile of the base spirit. So what we do here is a classic old fashioned, orange zest, which makes the drink very, very refreshing. Okay, and on top of which we also have a homemade chocolate apricot. So we get commercialized available dried apricots, and then we do a homemade coating of dark Valrhona chocolates. So chocolates go very well with whiskey or bourbon. Apricots go very well with bourbon especially. And then of course oranges and bitters. So this drink over here is called the Moral Hazard. One, because it's not hazardous material, okay, but because it is a drink that has so much complexity, a lot of profundity in it, and it is a drink that is to be enjoyed together with your fellow kids. Okay, don't be fooled by the name, okay, because it is not hazardous at all. Okay, it's not some chemical or some experimentation over here, the black one. Alright, okay, pass the drink around. Okay, go ahead, try it. Alright, it's not very harsh. It is full of flavors. Alright, it's something that I'm sure ladies will want to stay away from, but